Do Alex,
You have to watch it.
do they unmask the Tusken Raider?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I do, because in the
No, they
Star
don't.
Wars story where there's a Jedi Tusken Raider, it turns out he's not fully Tusken Raider and he has a human face.
Damn.
Yeah, there's some Tusken Raiders that are just humans that joined the
Yep.
like a tribe.
His father was a human that joined the tribe, and there was a woman that the Tuskens had enslaved that they had live with them. And he hooked up with her and they had a kid, and he was raised in the Tusken Raider culture.
So it's like when you're like 1/16 Native American, but you still live on the res.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's why I like Tuskens so much. I can relate to them.
You'll eventually be killed by an angsty teenager.
Yeah.
Jared, we've got to get like some level of points for you being technically Native American.
Oh damn.
I don't know. The tribe doesn't consider me one, so I don't really consider myself one.
They don't consider you one?
Yeah, they'll take the checks though for it, but they'll never give me them.
Shit.
Bullshit. Tribe does a lot of shit
What-
like
what-
that, but
What are you like 1/30th or what?
I'm just below the amount that makes it count. Like I'm like 2% blood away from being full native. Like the legal amount. So
You know what you have to do now.
slaughter them like animals?
No, that's not where I was going, and I want it to be
Too
known
late,
that you
I
were the one
haven't-
that had that idea. Okay? I don't want to be blamed for this in court. No, what you have to do is you have to find enough people that have a higher
my
percentage
own.
than you, and you have to get a blood transfusion with them, or just drink their blood.
Yeah, dude,
And
that's
then
better. Just drink your
you'll
blood.
absorb their Native American levels.
Or now hear me out. This
It's like
one
when
might
you
be
kill
even-
someone in Minecraft and take their levels.
Here's another idea. I'll start my own reservation with blackjack and hookers, and mostly white people, because for some reason, if you're not enough, you always come out white. Like once you reach that 2% over the threshold, it's like you look like a Native American, and I don't understand how it works. I have not seen someone who is like the bare minimum to be a Native American in the tribe's eyes that looked not like a Native American, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy though how like Native American is the only like I guess race where like they really split hairs with like qualify like if you're like some percentage of black and you identify as black, you're black, But like
Yeah.
or same thing with like being Asian or insert whatever.
It's because you don't
insert
get
whatever
paid
ethnic
for
group.
being black. Like there's the reason why the tribe's so particular about it is because they get government grants for being Native American. So it's like they want to make sure they have a lot of money from it, but they also want to make sure that what the government tells them they do with the money is like they give it to people who are tribal members. So they set the bar to be like fucking 16% or 17% native blood. They get the checks.
Yeah.
But they'll get checks for everyone that lives on the res regardless, as long as they have native blood.
Yeah, I know someone, I'm not going to like get into specifics of who it is, but I know someone that's basically like a diet white supremacist, and he is like a member of a Native American tribe, and he gets a per cap check.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, you're gonna give it to this guy? He's one of the people that would have been colonizing you.
Yeah. And that's how it works though. It's like he's enough, so he gets that. It's like a lot of the times, like res rats and shit, which are like the delinquent kids around here, they learn from like a very young age that if like they throw enough of a bitch fit in front of a white person, they'll get their way. It's like, you're only doing this because I'm native, isn't it? And it's like, what the fuck? Like I remember
hate people like that.
I'd just be like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember though. A relative of mine was in court a little bit ago. I'm not gonna say their names or how they're related to me. Besides that, they're someone that I know. But they were in court, and then they during their trial and stuff, it came out that they were guilty. The first thing that they said was, "This is a hate crime. It's because I'm Native American." They were 1% over the exact amount needed to be considered a Native American, which is I think it's like 16 or 17%. So they were mostly white.
Isn't it like 1/16?
Yeah,
that's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, but I think it's like when you actually do it, it's like comes out to 16% or some shit like that. I gotta check again. I know it's like a really small amount though in comparison, but it's just so like when you get people who have mixed like families where it's like the one guy like down the line it goes he's like full blood, and then one of them marries a white person. Those kids don't count because they didn't go far enough with the family tree to get like one more blood percentage going.
God.
So the problem is at some point there will be in the future a time where there are Native Americans in the tribe and on the res would not be getting per capita because they don't count in the tribe's eyes to be Native Americans. And I find that kind of hilarious. It's like your system's set up so tightly with so much like interference into what is considered Native American that at some point in the future, like a little bit in like probably 20, I'd say 60 or like 2100, we'll be generous. In 2100, they will no longer be a Native American tribal member because none of them would count enough with the blood quantum.
Yeah. God, I
And
hate
that
that.
really just tickles my
like,
pickle.
I
That's
don't
a
know,
horrible expression. I'm not going to use that ever again.
I just hate that the founding of this country involved wiping out an entire like ethnic group.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I hate being like one of the descendants of the people that like perpetrated this crime against nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is gross.
We basically gave him the airbender treatment.
The airbender treatment.
Someday there will be
now we pay
the last person qualified to live on the res.
Yeah, there will be the last person who is Indian enough to live on the res. Well, like that's the thing though. It's like if the res actually tried to like do stuff with
we
the
give
culture,
you a seat on the council.
Oh my
but we
God.
do not give you the rank of
tribal member,
Native American.
No, but like here's the thing though that gets to me is like the tribe is always going on and on about how they need to make sure that like Native Americans are alive and well and shit, but they'll never do anything to like teach kids the culture or anything like that. They'll never like they'll never put money into projects that could like genuinely keep the culture alive.
Now, growing up, I like in school and like in like church and stuff. When I was younger, like I learned about like so much white magic, like Jesus and stuff like that, and like learning about like Judeo-Christian like and like like Santa,
the good
like,
book,
all those kinds of white magic. But like even like in the 3rd grade, I was like, there's a lot of different kinds of magic that I feel like I'm not learning about. Like there was a whole bunch of people here like before Columbus that had their own kind of magic, and I want to learn about that magic because I'm kind of tired of learning about Jesus magic.
Jesus.
And like Santa magic. White magic at this point to me is kind of boring. Like I want some variety.
Yeah. No, I feel yeah.
Variety.
Like there's just like we live in a culture. Like what is it they call it?
America's we live in a society.
No. It's an expression. It's like America is the culture melting pot or something like that. It is the melting pot of cultures. But all we ever learn about is like fucking European shit. And like
it's the melting pot of European cultures.
Basically. Like even then though, it's like the thing that I get is like it's not just like a problem with the Native American education system. Even the tribe, the people who are Native Americans and stuff, will not do shit to try and like show the younger generation Native things. Like the times
Yeah.
that they have, it's because there were other older members who weren't on the council who did it out of their own funding from their own like fucking pockets and shit. Meanwhile, the entire tribal council is constantly trying to get more like funding so they can build yet another casino because that's what we need. It's like I remember on like half the fucking bills the last guy kept trying to get produced because we get since my dad works in the tribe, we get newspapers from him. Half the fucking things were talking about how they wanted to make another casino in like fucking the UP because it's supposed to increase funding for the tribe. And like I don't know how much the casinos make, but I believe it's a lot more than like what's expected. I feel like a lot of that money could have gone to like fixing the state of things around here.
Hey, Native Americans, I know you guys asked for your land back and, like, equal rights, and you asked us to not, put you in white re-education schools. But instead of that, how about we allow you to get into the industry of one of the most destructive vices known to man, gambling? How would you like that?
Yeah.
Mm,
It's just like I hate tribal government so much because they never think about the rest of them. They only focus on like fucking casinos and what they're gonna do with those next.
yeah, because money,
Yeah.
as every other thing in country as it goes,
I know,
money
but
is big motivator.
that's the thing though. These same people though that will put thousands of their own dollars into making another casino will complain on Facebook and stuff about how there's like no like representation for the native like culture and how it's dying. It's like, yeah, it's dying maybe because literally no one is caring about it.
Yeah,
Not even the Native Americans.
it's just
It's
so they can bitch
depressing.
and complain about more stuff, refusing to do anything about it, but still will complain when things aren't done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back to that whole like melting pot thing though, like I never really like actively thought about how much white people steamroll other cultures.
Dude, like
Because
white
it's
Yeah.
people
like
like
take for example like black culture in America, like or like the I guess the cultural contributions of black people in America. Like I guess there's like, like jazz and stuff like that, but it's like that's not African. Like all of the stuff that we consider like black contributions is like stuff that like fits into like a white perspective, I guess. Like
yeah.
or stuff that was like caused by white people. Like we managed to um just steamroll African culture in this country out of existence for the most part. There are some areas like I believe there's like I guess a group of people in Georgia. I think it's in Georgia where they're really in touch with their African roots, which is really good.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I never actively thought about how much white people steamroll other cultures.
Yeah. No, it happens a lot. It's
Yeah.
like I know that I guess the last bit of like white people culture would probably be like the how everyone looked in the 20s and then we just started stealing everything else.
Yeah, like we got to
We
white
got to
people
our end
basically
point and then we
white people
reset.
basically made it so like in America any kind of um any kind of cultural contribution in this country from any other ethnic group
Is now
is
white.
just something white but better.
Like yeah, like what was it? Swing came first and then came jazz and blues.
Yeah. You got like da 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 bump bump, and then like black people made that better, and then white people came up with some more boring shit, and then black people made it better, and that cycle will continue on forever.
Who came up with lounge like what Richard Cheese does?
I think that's influenced primarily by swing
I
with
don't
some like I guess jazz elements. I
I
think
like that
lounge is
genre the
just a
most.
catch-all term for any kind of big band or
Well, no,
swing
lounge
or jazz
is
kind of like vibe.
well, no, it's its own separate thing. There's subtle differences and stuff, but lounge is like a genre of music where it's like it's not music that you'd usually like dance to or anything like
Well,
that.
I guess
it's music
like
you'd go
I guess
and
it's like the
smoke
soft
to
rock of
the
swing /
trumpet.
jazz.
Yeah, it's soft rock
Yeah.
trumpet. But
It's
yeah,
soft rock for even older white people. Soft rock is for old white people. So, lounge is for even older white people.
I like
and
lounge.
and zillennials, Gen Z. It's another term for Gen Z. Zillennials. I like that.
Zillennials, I like that.
Yeah.
I just like being called a human being. Please stop.
I like being a human being.
Now we're attacking people based on what age group they fit in.
I just want to return to monkey.
I just want to evolve to crab. Embrace modernity. Become crab.
It's reject modernity, become crab.
No, Ian, because the natural progression of how things are is we're gonna turn into a crab at some point. Let's increase
monkey.
that.
No, reject monkey, embrace
become
crab. I don't know, man. Crabs pretty cool.
God damn it. I can't wait to get rid of the fleshy exterior and replace it with bones. I can't wait for the parts of me that keep me up on the inside to become the parts of me that keep me in on the outside.